Hey y'all. So if you're wondering why Merritt's not doing the intro today, it's because, well, he told me he didn't want to. But as you can see on the YouTube video, we have two amazing guests with us today. Two former West Virginia alums, two former West Virginia soccer players. We have Sara Keane and Bri LeGittino on here with us. Ladies, how are you guys doing on this lovely Wednesday?
I'm good.
Great.
How are you?
We're happy
Yeah,
to be here.
yeah. See, you, that's I can do. I got this, man. Don't worry. Believe in me. So,
I
um,
never said I
Merritt, you
didn't.
have anything to say to our crowd out here?
No, the only reason I didn't do the intro is because I would definitely have butchered Bree's last name 100% because I can't say anything half the time.
It's okay.
I don't know
Well,
how
go
they
ahead.
let me recruit people for jobs.
I don't know either. Hey, that's the hey. You do what you got to do, man. So
I can't with this. This is hysterical.
you're doing great.
Oh,
You're doing great.
all right. Well, I guess I'll take over now for shits and giggles at this point. Because Kevin just is going to run the podcast today. I'm just going to
Definitely not.
take the back seat.
You are the head honcho out here. I'm just here in the background. So
Oh God, how wrong is that? Okay, so let's talk the weekly sport. I can't. Weekly sports update. No franchise deals for any of the big franchise running backs in the NFL this week, and they had a deadline of yesterday at 4 p.m. to sign deals. So that means what? Saquon Barkley, Jacobs, and I don't even know who the other ones are because they're not as prevalent. But those two were the big ones who didn't get any long-term deals and have to play on a franchise tag or a one-year deal and get no money, basically.
yeah, I feel like that always happens. That always happens to these guys. Like they want their money, but at the same time, the running they can just get hurt so easily, and then you've like essentially lost all your money, like giving it to this one guy. So I get it from the running back perspective of like not agreeing to a deal if they don't want the money they're getting, but I at the same time I'm like I kind of agree with the owner in a sense because it's tough out here.
It
But
is funny though that
yeah,
since 2013, every spot on an NFL roster has increased compensation by almost 40 or 50%. The running backs only gained $2 million. They went from 8 million to 10 million in like a 10-year gap. And it is a prevalent role because Kevin, you mentioned getting hurt.
mm-hmm.
Quarterbacks can get hurt and they get paid 3/4 of the salary half the time. So
Mm.
there you go.
There you go, right there.
um, and then next one is Joel Embiid from the 76ers.
Jojo.
Hinted that he may leave.
I
Now, this is
know.
totally speculation. He'll probably never leave Philadelphia. Everyone in Philly loves him for the process or whatever it was called. But he did hint that he wants a championship. And if it's not in Philly, it's somewhere else. So we'll see. I'd be cool to see Joel in a different jersey and actually go win something because it ain't gonna be in Philly. It definitely ain't gonna be in Philly.
No, not they keep choking.
Oh, well,
I would love him in a Knicks jersey, but I just don't know what it's gonna take to get him though. It's gonna be a lot.
that would be disgusting.
Well, yeah, because then they have to beat your Celtics, and then you're gonna be mad at me, and then it's just gonna be a whole thing. And yeah,
No,
that's what it would be.
Joel Embiid can't beat the Celtics. We've already proved that every playoff series and every game in the regular season. He can't
Well,
beat
yeah,
the
you guys have
Celtics.
the Time Lord. How can we beat that?
Exactly. And you got the Jays.
I don't even know what Time Lord's real name is. I just know his video gaming name. Or whatever. Or was he late to practice? Why?
was,
I don't even. One of my best friends is a huge Time Lord guy. So because I don't really follow the NBA at all. It's the only reason I know who he is.
he was late. So he got drafted. It's Robert Williams from Texas
Robert
A&M got
Williams, that's right.
drafted by the Celtics. didn't answer the phone call from the Celtics.
That's
They
what-
called him back. It gets drafted, blah, blah, blah. He misses his plane to Boston. So he's late at that point, and then misses like the taxi or whatever he's supposed to do to get to the facility to sign his deal. He was late for everything to start his career in the NBA. Yeah, it's fantastic. And that's how we got
our
that
landlord.
stupid nickname. Next one, this makes me very happy because being a Red Sox fan is seeing the Yankees in last place in the AL East. Kevin, since you've gone to that game, they have sucked. So good job.
It's your
Damn.
fault.
It probably is. That's sometimes happens, but yeah, I don't know what it is. What's with the Yankees? It's just they are in complete disarray. So I watched them lose to the Rockies when I was out this weekend when they were up the entire game, and then they gave up a home run to lose 8-7. It's just a mess. I don't know if they're gonna overcome, but the AL East is fairly close though. Like they're like if you're looking at the records, they're all kind of like close to each other. So we just need like a hell of a run in the month of August, but I don't know. It's not looking pretty.
It's the best.
So Rizzo never should have left the Cubs, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yes.
I agree to that one. That was a horrible
Madness.
idea.
I know.
That was heartbreaking for Bri.
Now we suck.
It's okay. It happens.
We're just rebuilding,
Yeah, that's what the Red Sox keep saying every year for the past like 10 years. We're just rebuilding and paying stupid contracts. Yeah. It's fine. That's all we always ever do. And then probably the one sporting event that is near and dear to our two guests today is the FIFA Women's World Cup kicks off at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Thank you for letting me know.
Well,
It's very near and dear. I didn't know when it started or where it was, but I do now.
it's in New Zealand.
I thought Australia.
Well, it's Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's both.
Perfect. I follow it very closely, as you can tell.
We can definitely tell you follow it, to a T.
Mhm.
Probably know every single player on every single team.
I can't wait for you to quiz Bri on soccer.
Oh God, Kevin might be the only one that gets the trivia question right then. Oh God, sorry.
No, I think
She might be worse. She's gonna be worse than me for sure.
No, I think this the trivia. I think she'll get. I think you'll get at least some of that part of the answer. I believe in you.
Perfect.
That's really nice of you, Kevin.
Very optimistic.
At this point, I have no faith. I'm sorry, Bri. Sorry,
Okay.
just
I
throwing
don't
that one
either.
out there. But yeah. So who's going to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch the soccer game tomorrow?
Not I, says the wise one. I will watch. I think the U.S. plays at like 9 p.m. on Friday Eastern
Yes.
time, so that I can
Ooh,
do that.
that's 6 my time. I could do that.
Yes, that's good time for you, Bri.
Yes.
Perfect. So
They play-
technically it kicks off for me tonight at midnight
Yeah.
Yes.
because you guys are all East Coast.
right.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna be sleeping then, but I'll
They
be
play
sure to.
Vietnam. I'm sure that'll
check
be a
it.
really close game.
Yeah.
Be a real good one, a real barn burner.
Yeah, huge barn burner. Yeah.
I do need to figure out when the Philippines play because the Philippines are never in anything.
Well,
so
that's
that's super
cool, yeah.
exciting. So I need to figure out what time. Every time that like I found where they play, it's like the Philippines time, and I'm like, well, I don't know what that is. Like, why can't you guys just give me the East Coast time out here? So I will be on the hunt for that. So
just go to ESPN, Kevin, and it'll tell you.
Yeah. I
it
feel like
definitely
it's pretty
did not
easy to
tell
find.
me.
It
Did not
def-
tell me on ESPN.
It
ESPN
definitely
now
will.
only reports in Philippine time. If you didn't know.
Yeah, if you think they're trying.
Yeah,
I will double check when we're after, and then I'll report to everybody what time the Philippines plays.
Oh, I greatly appreciate that, Kevin, because I'm gonna definitely watch that game.
They
I
play
know you're-
Friday at 1 a.m. against Switzerland.
There
How'd you
go.
find that so fast?
Dang.
The Google.
Oh, okay. Shout out to
Shocker.
amazing.
How you feeling over there,
Amazing.
Kevin? You, huh? Sarah
You
found it
know.
pretty quick, and it
Well, 'cause
wasn't in
Sarah's
Filipino
it.
time.
Well, you know what?
Sarah's really good at her phone. It's okay.
That is
Don't
true.
feel
It's all
bad.
good. All right. Well, I mean, luckily I don't sleep very much, so maybe I'll catch the first 50 minutes. So
Yeah, 1
we'll see what
a.m.'s not
happens.
correct. I mean, it's obviously not ideal, but that's better than 3 a.m.
That is very true.
I'll
Very,
take
very
the
true.
3 a.m. because I'll be up at that point anyway, so it's fine.
That is true. Yes.
Actually, this could be perfect because I'm having a baby in 9 days or less. So I'll be up anyway. So maybe I'll watch more of the World Cup than you guys.
Wow. Yeah, Bri's gonna be like, look, this is soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last time when I had my first baby, it was during the Olympics.
The
So when I had
Olympics.
to get
I was
up in the
there, yeah.
middle- Yeah, when I had to get up in the middle of the night to feed him, I had something to watch.
All right, yeah, she wins. She's probably
I
gonna
win.
definitely watch more games than us. Okay, all right. Bri, I'll take back my comment of I have no faith. I have a
Yeah,
little
you guys
now.
should really quiz me after the World Cup, not before it.
We'll have you back on after World Cup and be like, okay, here, let's go through this all
Perfect.
already.
What did you learn?
Soccer? I don't remember. I can't tell you. All right. Well, now we'll dive over into our alma mater, West Virginia. Kevin, I don't think I got anything for football, except that it's quiet and players, I think, are back or reporting to school soon. I don't even know.
Yeah, football is on the slow front right now. It's really about basketball right now. That's been in the news for good things, nothing bad like we have in the previous weeks. So go ahead, take it over.
Not even talk about previous weeks. It's still horrendous. So the TBT team beat Maryland in the ABL league or whatever it is, the Alumni Basketball League, by 30 points, and they hit the point margin where there was 7 minutes left in the actual game, and the game ended.
No.
Yeah.
Who's
They
on
blew
that team? Is it anyone we would know?
KJ,
One of them.
Yeah.
Flowers,
Basically the team when we were there.
Oh, I didn't know.
yeah, there's a bunch of the guys that we went to school with on the team, but there's also like younger guys that are joining.
Well, Deshaun, he was going to be a coach of it, right? Or a player, but now he's on the actual West Virginia staff. So he's probably
Yeah.
not doing that.
He's
not
there helping them out, because they're all in practicing in the training facility. So Deshaun's just there helping out with practice. But I know he was an assistant GM for them at one point for that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and isn't the head coach James?
Yep, James is the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that who Bryce used to date?
James, the blonde kid?
James Long.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
One of our old teammates dated him in college.
Do you guys remember the big turkey?
Dennis.
Dennis Colangelo?
Dude, I
Yes.
got drunk with him one time and he pulled out his guitar.
I forgot he was a guitar guy.
How did you forget he was playing it all the time in Lincoln?
I know. I always forgot about that.
I always remember seeing all of you in Lincoln, and I always remember Dennis always coming down with his huge guitar and just playing it everywhere, every second he could.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those are classic times right
I
there.
totally randomly, I don't know if it was a year or two ago, just searched him on Instagram just so I could try and see what he's doing now. And I think he was married.
Yeah. He's married, and I believe he still lives in Turkey, because I remember the podcast that Kevin Jones and John Flowers and all them do, they brought in Dennis for an interview, and he's like, yeah, man, I've been playing a little bit of basketball here and there, and just just chilling. I'm married now, because they asked him if he could play TBT, but he's like, I have to work it out with my team. I have to see if it's gonna work around our schedule, because I guess they start at a different time, and they were trying to recruit him to play. So
was he good in college?
I think he was hurt quite a bit, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
He was always hurt, and then when he did play, he liked to take a lot of threes and then got benched real quick.
Because he's 7'5".
Yeah, and 300 pounds,
300 plus pounds.
Yeah, he was in my dance 101 class, and I was sitting in the hallway just on the ground waiting for it to start. and I was like going to get up, and he like reached his hand out to help me get up, and I was like, it was like a giant, like the largest hand, and like I stood up, and I was like maybe to his waist. He was just a large human.
I felt tiny next to him.
Yeah,
Well, I felt tiny next to everybody because I'm just shorter than everybody. But Bri, you just brought up a very interesting point. Dance 101. What is entailed in that class?
Nothing. Every
It was
single time we had
unfortunately not dance. It was like history.
No, you didn't
Oh,
dance.
that
It was
sucks.
history of dance, but every single time there was a test, and like you know how you had to fill out the Scantron. The teacher, I forget her name. She was this cute little blonde lady.
Yeah,
She was
adorable.
like, I tried to grade all the Scantrons, but the Scantron machine was broken, so you all get A's. Like that's literally what it was every time.
Why the hell did I not take Dance 101?
Yeah, it was a great class.
Nice.
So it's like just the history of dance and like all different types of forms of dancing without actually dancing.
Not one second.
We never had to get up and dance.
That's probably Dance 102.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We should
I
have done that class.
Because I took Acting 101 and Acting 102. And Acting 101, which I thought was going to be very similar to 102, completely different life forms. Because I actually had to act for 102.
Oh man. Yeah, Dance 101 was like one of the classes that all of our academic advisors through like the freshmen in their first semester, like the freshman student athletes. Like, here, go get an A. We're like, okay, thank you.
I love it.
The things we missed out on, Kevin, not being athletes at this school.
I mean, when I came in freshman year, they said, this is what you're supposed to take. If you want to take it, take it. And then I was like, all right, well, I don't know any better. And then, of course, I come to find out for the major that I had, all the classes that they advised me were all wrong to take. So I was like, well, that sucks. So
yeah,
that's why I just ended up being a sport management major like everybody in here. So it worked out way better for me, though.
Hey, I just like the fact of being a practice player and getting the perks of being an athlete, of picking my classes before everyone else. That was probably the best thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Get the pick classes.
That was stressful.
I don't know anymore. The last
Sarah
like
and I
3
used
years.
to always joke, like, if we didn't have our academic advisor, we wouldn't know how to sign up for class, and we wouldn't know how to get textbooks.
No, because they just put our textbooks in a big like
box that says your name on it
with our names, and it was like, here, take this. And we were like, thank God. One time, one of the books was on back order, and I remember Bri and I had to go to the Barnes and Nobles at the Mountain Lair, and we went in, and we were like, well, now what? We're at the bookstore, but where do we go? I didn't even know there was a basement. We had to go into the basement to get the. I was like, is this book just going to be next to the hoodie I'm going to buy, or like, what do we do?
That's so classic.
It's embarrassing looking back, but at the time, we were so ignorant to the fact that students do this on their own.
Yeah, we had no idea.
Yeah,
literally no idea.
Yeah,
and then we both did grad school, and then I actually had to like get my books.
Yeah,
and I was like, holy crap, these are expensive. Do people actually pay this amount for these books?
No,
we never bought them.
We realized we never needed a book for docs class. So the $300 book you had to buy for docs class, you're just like, no.
Yeah, I don't think you really needed a book for many of the classes, or you could at least share, so you don't have to buy them and pay that much.
Oh yeah, we definitely sharing was one. If anybody had the one textbook, it would be like, all right, guys, let's get together to do the notes with this textbook. And you guys traveled mad far. You had to go all the way to the mountain there, where they could have just sent you to the book exchange right by Lincoln, and you didn't have to walk that far. You just go to their basement and get their textbooks too.
See, they all had basements. Who knew?
And they were all
probably wanted to eat at the mountain lair, and then
probably. What was the McCoy's?
The chicken place?
Yo, blast from the past. It's now a Chick-fil-A now.
I know, that was Bri and I's spot. We crushed.
Yeah, but remember first semester we didn't realize that we had money on our IDs that we could use.
That was the other stupid thing we didn't know.
Yeah, so then second semester we're like, oh my god, we have so much money, and so we ate there like every day.
we were mountain layer rich.
Mm-hmm. That we were.
Mountain Lair Rich was the way to be, though. Because then you could just, I don't want to eat in the cafeteria. Well, all right, there we go. Sbarro, Burger King, McCoy's, the little junk food store that's in the layer. You got your big, or couldn't you use that same stuff at like the Lion's Den?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like we never took
Because it
advantage
was
of
always
Columbus
closed
Day.
when we got home
Yeah,
from
because by the
practice.
time like we got back from
Ah.
practice or whatever, it was never open.
Yeah.
Which is why we only really ever ate in the cafeteria like in the spring.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and the Lions Den when I got there was always closed. Like it was under construction or something was going wrong with it. So once it
This Lions
reopened,
Den,
it's
clutch
crazy.
chicken fingers and fries.
Their
If you
chicken fingers
needed-
were good.
Yes. As
Those are
we
very
do
good.
a chicken finger review for our other part of the podcast, which is hilarious. So way to
All
way to
right.
way to take me back out here.
You're welcome, Kevin. That's what we're here
No
for.
problem.
This is literally what
So
today's going to be.
what how far are they in the TBT tournament now? Because that is actually one that I watch because I follow John Flowers on Instagram, so I see like all the updates.
They
And so I try and
haven't-
watch it when it's on.
They start next week. They're
Yeah.
right now in practice.
Oh, okay.
So they did
Sorry.
the alumni basketball league, which is just alumni from each school. And that's what kind of like their warm up to the TBT, because TBT you can have players from different schools be on your team. So like we have guys from
Oh, I don't
Morehead
think I
State,
realized
and then I think Penn State.
John
and-
Flowers' brother is going to be on the team.
Yeah,
So
I thought the one I watched was just you had to be an alum.
that's how
That's-
they previously did it. Was you had to be
I think I
an
like that
alumni.
better.
I agree. I
It's
like that
much better.
better. But then they started to have like there's a team sponsored by Floyd Mayweather, and he got like paid a bunch of people to be on his team, and then you had guys that like played with each other overseas, so they created their own team. So TBT is now just this old like March Madness for like older guys to win $1 million.
who don't
So
play
their
in the NBA.
team, they're not the Best Virginia team anymore.
Still
what
Best
their
Virginia.
team name- that's
Still
what they
called
still call
Best
them.
Virginia. Yeah. Because the thing a lot of people don't know is like these teams have to fund themselves to get to these places to play these games, which is really interesting.
Where are the games?
There were
So-
a bunch in Charleston, wasn't
They
there?
they play
Yeah.
in Charleston. What the West Virginia team will play in Charleston, and then are they in Dayton
this
again?
year, so they moved the West Virginia region from Charleston to Wheeling. So it's gonna be in Wheeling. Yeah, a little bit closer. So it'll be in Wheeling now. They said they tried to get it to be in Morgantown, but I guess whatever officials in Morgantown will let them do it there. But yeah, the tournament's gonna be in Wheeling. And then if they win the West Virginia region, then they get to go to Dayton, which is like they're like kind of like the Final Four March Madness type deal with all the regions come. So they've literally gotten better each year that they've been in. So like the last thing to do is now they just need to win it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get there.
I hope so. Be great to have a West Virginia team actually win something. Oh, sorry, said that way too loud. Oh, and there's one other West Virginia update. Our baseball coach is going to retire after this upcoming season.
I just saw that. Is
Really?
that like he's actually that was his idea? Like he's not getting forced out or anything?
No, he's been coaching baseball for like 20 plus something years. So
He's
they
not
have
that old though, is he?
no.
I didn't think so.
I didn't think
he's-
he was that old either.
Their kids are pretty young.
And when they moved there, the kids were like tiny. So,
Yeah.
you know, they've been there for what, 11 years, 10, 11 years, something like that.
Yeah, I think they got there like either our last year or like right before we left.
I think it was
Right after we
my like fifth year.
Your
Brady,
last.
yeah.
Yeah. But he's retiring and they had the coach in waiting already. It's like they're
Is it somebody good? Do we know?
Is it Greg Van Zant?
There's rumor has it they're still finding equipment in his house from Hollyfield.
He's somewhere eating at a Golden Corral
Yeah.
buffet.
Oh my god.
That's the only place he took the team to eat.
There, or he'd
Literally.
get them all McDonald's burgers like 30 minutes before the game.
nice. Sounds
Oh,
perfect.
yeah.
Sounds exactly what you need to eat before for a game.
I haven't been back to Morgantown since that stadium's been built, and that's
It's
like
so
one of the main
cool.
things I want to see.
Beautiful.
It is
Like-
beautiful.
That
Sarah,
whole
we could have
area
walked
is
there from the domain.
Yes, it's right there.
that whole area is all redone. Like, remember where the domain ended and it was just like an all open area
Yes.
on a
It's
backside of a hill?
all Well,
Yeah.
like there's a B Dubs there. The only thing I disapprove
My
of is
favorite.
they did they built another Los Mariachis. We don't need two of those.
No.
Let's keep.
Wait, they built a second one?
It's
Yeah.
up top. We drove by it last year when we
Wait,
went
why
to
do we
B-Dubs.
hate that, Sarah?
Apparently it's not as good as
Not the
like
same.
yeah, it's just not the same because it's like probably food that it is edible and they charge you
Real money.
real money. So we're not into that.
And they don't over pour.
We hate that.
Definitely hate that part.
We would go to Lowe's just for the queso and margaritas. It was the best thing ever.
I don't think I
everyone
ever
went there for.
ordered a meal at Lowe's. I would always get the cheese dip, like the queso dip, and the chicken
one.
quesadilla like appetizer, just because it just felt like I should order, something else. But it was really, like Bri said, it was we just went for the margaritas and the queso.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll be honest. I think I've only ever went there once.
Oh my God, that is a sin.
I lived in
I know.
Pierpont, so like I walked there half the time. My friends would be like, "Hey, you want to go get some food?" I'm like, "I just want a margarita.
Mhm.
I'm cool with that."
There you go.
And it was like $5, so it hits you hard and it's cheap.
I wonder if pricing is as like crazy as it is everywhere else, or if it's still cheap.
It was
Like penny pitcher night.
Oh man.
We can't have that anymore.
No, in this economy.
It was at like what? I remember Spage had like dollar draft on Thursday, and it was like girls drink free. I was like, this just can't work.
Oh no, because never mind.
Who had chicken bones had mug night? Is that right? And it was
Yes.
like you could bring like a toilet bowl with you if you wanted, and they'd fill it up.
Oh man, that's taking me back. I think I remember somebody brought like a huge like canteen
Yeah.
for like their mug, and like it's huge. It was like the size of my head, and I was like, all right, well, shout out to y'all for being creative out here.
I do remember though, Bent Willie's is no longer there. It's some other place now.
It's a different name. That's a shame.
The more tragic part about that is the pizza is gone.
Yeah.
I would go to Ben Willie's most of the time just for the pizza. I'd get a piece before I went in the bar, and then I get a piece
and then a piece when you left.
I always went down below and just was like, all right, I just need a slice. I'm good. I'm gonna go get the bus and go back.
Exactly. Oh, that was my favorite too.
Oh man.
Good times.
Kevin, what kind of jersey you got on? Because it looks like a team that none of us really like.
Well, I was going to see if y'all could figure it out. Well, I didn't think about that, but I just found it. This is the logo. If y'all could see it, I was going to see if you can guess where it is. And this is like the little sponsor that they have on their chests.
How do you find these jerseys?
Because I'm that guy, Merritt. So I gotta keep you on your toes. And that's an alcohol. That's the reason why I ended up buying the jersey. So I was gonna see.
Is it some professional team in Mexico?
Yes.
Definitely.
Is it an American sports team?
Not an American sports team. So Mexico is wrong. You just might need to go a little further south.
Okay, so it's in South America.
Yeah, so I figured I'd give you all a guess to see if you could find it. Sarah's looking. I think Sarah's gonna get it. I feel.
Sarah's gonna get it. She's got it. She's literally like
she's on the Google.
On her phone.
I literally am on the Google.
Merritt, you don't even want to guess?
Somewhere in Brazil. That's all I got. I have no idea.
All right, cool.
Chile.
Okay. Bri is a little bit closer when it comes to countries.
Ecuador.
No, you were close in the C countries.
Colombia.
Cuba.
Colombia. It is in Colombia. So
all right, so we got that part down.
Got that part down. All right, Sarah, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna see if you can figure it out.
Is that a 4?
It's not Club America.
Not Club America, correct.
It looks like the Avengers A.
It does. I agree with you on that one. And they got like a castle.
Yeah, and a castle.
Castle thing's throwing me off.
It's a soccer jersey, right?
It is a soccer jersey because I wore it for
Atletico Nacional.
Boom! There it is. Yes. Atletico Nacional, 1 out of 3 teams in Colombia, based off of in the city of Medellin. So
According
What do
to
you know?
Google, they're the most famous Colombian soccer team.
Yes.
Well, there you go, Kevin. Good
There
job.
you go. Yeah, just try to mix it up out here. Try to mix it up for you guys.
Nice. I almost wore that same jersey, so I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, that would have been really embarrassing.
That would have. They didn't have it. Didn't fit over my belly, so I had to.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because you had it for free.
I do. I totally have it.
I love
Oh my
it.
god.
I love it.
Oh god. All right.
Yes.
Should we move on to the next part? Because I'm not wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Too
Go
hot.
ahead.
It's real hot. It's too hot right now up here in the East Coast. All right. So now we get to include you guys more in this conversation. It is all about you at this
All
point.
about you, ladies.
Oh yay.
Bree's like, oh god, I'm logging off of this. I'm done.
Sorry, internet's out.
Oh no. All right. So we've had plenty of other athletes on too. We've had Krista Caldwell join us. We had Steph Mock. We've had a few others. And we always like to ask this question because y'all got recruited. The two of us, that didn't happen. Sadly, we didn't get recruited to go to a school. But what was the process like for the two of you guys, and why, let's be honest, why West Virginia in the middle of the hills? Did you go there?
Good question.
You still trying to figure out the answer to this day, huh?
I am a little bit. I feel like Bri and I's process was pretty similar. I mean, just as far as like the number of schools recruiting us. It was a little different for me being a goalkeeper, like having to figure out who is graduating. Because I mean, not that I didn't feel like I could, beat out a senior goalkeeper, but I wasn't beating out a senior goalkeeper. So just trying to figure out, like, if there's somebody that, if I'm coming in as a freshman and they're a sophomore and they're starting, they're probably going to be starting the rest of their career. So, I needed to find a school that didn't have that. But I'm from South Jersey. I always told myself somewhere warm. Like
yeah,
Florida
you went
State
somewhere
was,
She followed through on that.
I know. Well, Florida State was I really wanted to go to Florida State, and it just didn't work out. And West Virginia, like Izzo was pretty consistent with, the recruiting. And I guess she wore me down a little bit, honestly. And I had two teammates from my club team that committed to West Virginia. So that helped. Nicolette De Laurentiis and Steph Carpenter. And then I knew Bri from like youth national team stuff. And when she committed, I was like, well, I kind of know her. She wasn't very nice to me at any of the camps, but I knew her.
Oh, you got just
He's such a liar.
shots are
we didn't talk. I'm kidding. Well, we talked. We were friendly, but
Sarah was intimidated.
I was, and Bri was part of the cool group at those camps, and I was like the dweeby, like just like, kind of on the side. But Bri was nice to me when we got on campus. So
yeah.
Nice to a degree, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we were basically inseparable. So
yeah.
For me, it was like, if I could go back, they start recruiting when kids are way too young. So
it's even younger now too.
I know, like, it's got to be worse now, but when they started recruiting me as a sophomore in high school, I'm like, I have no idea. And I don't want to, like, I don't want any part of this really. So I kind of ignored like a lot of the emails, a lot of the mail calls coming in. And I just wanted no part of the process. And my parents were like, come on, you got to do it. You got to do it. And I was like, yeah, no, thank you. When it came to West Virginia, the only reason I even looked at it was because my best friend growing up, who I played with, Megan Lewis, she was on my club team, but she's technically a year older in school. So she was in the process before I was, and she committed to West Virginia. And she was like, come on, come look at it. It looks awesome, blah, blah, blah. So I, like Sarah, Florida State was on my short list. Penn State and Santa Clara were like my top three. And then I did a visit to West Virginia, and I don't know that I like fully knew what I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go to West Virginia. Like, I loved Izzo and I loved Megan, who was there, and I knew some girls going. But I don't think I really like was like, yes, this is for sure the school for me.
I'm with Bri on
It
that.
just ended up being the school for me.
Yeah,
Like,
and that would have nothing to do with like the coaches or the campus. It was just like, what the hell did we were 16.
I just didn't have a clue.
It's
like,
like,
I didn't
what
really
I didn't
know what I was
looking
looking for. I didn't know what I wanted to major in. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go to this school in 2.5 years. I have to make a decision now.
And it was also like you said about not knowing like what you wanted to major in. It's like I knew like I wasn't going to be a doctor. I wasn't going to be a lawyer. Like I didn't. I could have been. But I just knew like I did know I wanted a bigger school.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily a state school, but you know, a bigger school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was really like the only thing that I was like, yeah, that's what I want.
Well, the other thing for me was I wanted a school. Like, yeah, it's good to go to a school for soccer that has like a great reputation and they're known for winning. But I also wanted to go to a school that was like a very good program, but that hadn't like, you know, got that championship yet, or was just like on the cusp of being great. I wanted to help them to get to that level as opposed to just going to a school where it was expected. So that was another thing, because West Virginia, they were a great program. I think the year before we got there, or 2 years before we got there, was their first Elite Eight.
Yeah, that was 07.
Yeah. So I did know that I wanted to go to school where I could help them be great, as opposed to going to school that's like, you're expected to be great.
Now they're expected to be great every year.
They are now. And that took, I mean, a lot of work on Izzo's part and then all the teams that she brought in. But yeah, now they're expected.
Yeah. Now, if they don't make it to the Final Four or the championship game, it's like, well, come on, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. It's funny. You guys both said Florida State, because one of my good friends who played at BU was going to go to Florida State, and then they signed someone that played the same position in midfield as her. And she's like, well, I'm going to pivot and go back to the Northeast. So
yeah. So that was Boston.
Kind of my situation with Florida State. They signed a goalkeeper that was from Florida.
Oh.
Yeah, me too. They had Amanda DaCosta for me.
And who was like one of the best midfielders in the country.
Yeah. And she was 2 years older, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, we played Boston University, so maybe we played your friend. We played them our freshman or sophomore year. One of them.
Probably. What year was that? Because I can't remember half.
It would be 09 or 10.
Or 10.
I think it was 09.
Yeah, I think it was our freshman year.
Oh, I'm going to find out. I'm definitely finding this. Kevin, you can
go.
Oh,
you're finding that.
I'm doing this.
You guys had a big recruiting class too. Like I felt like when you guys came in, there was like, it wasn't like 2 or 3 of you. It was like 8 of you, right?
There were a lot of us.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was 9 because you guys were all in Lincoln together.
Yep.
I remember that. I was like, whoa, there's like a lot of you here. It's crazy. But so let me go see Merritt's. Next question.
Did you even look at anything?
Yes, I did. It's just I wasn't
lie.
sure where you were going. All right, well, Merritt don't want to believe me. I did look at the questions because I told him I didn't need to add anything. So what was it like playing at WVU? So you guys played up there. What was it like?
I mean, I loved it. It sounds, cliche, but like all the girls that we played with, like we still talk to this day. Like we're in weddings, we go to weddings, bachelor.
Yeah, but we've actually learned from our coaches, Izzo and Stoya, and them, like that's not that cliche, because they said that we are the closest group still. Since
which I just like, because they really fostered like a family kind of environment, but like we all, you spend so much time together. It sounds like it's not so much like that anymore. Like everyone's kind of off to, I think NIL changed a lot of things.
Social media.
Yeah. Like I would be, if me personally would have been eaten alive by how social media is today. Like I would like, I don't TikTok. I love TikTok, but I'm not TikToking.
Sarah's the person sitting there on the phone going, wow, this is a great video.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I'll like your TikTok, but I'm not making it.
I just do the Pokemon TikToks that are hysterical. I'm like, let's try this. Like I'm like a kid again.
But yeah, I mean, I loved it. It was hard. don't get me wrong, but I was in the best shape of my life. So I guess it was worth it. And it didn't hurt that we were good too, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be hard to go there and not like to just lose all the time. So having the winning records help. But no, playing there, I mean, West Virginia ended up being like choosing to go there was one of my 2 best decisions in my life. So I would never regret that.
The first was becoming friends with me. West
Obviously.
Virginia was second. Her husband and kids are third.
They're way down there.
Wow, they're like way down that list.
Yeah, no, they are.
No, but I loved it. Playing for Izzo was amazing. She's probably one of the best college coaches you could have asked for. And then our team, I mean, like Sara said, we have a group text of what, like 11 or 12 of us that talk almost every day. Definitely some more active than others, but but they're there and they're seeing it. But yeah, it was hard. Spring, like we didn't have, I always tell people, like we didn't have the typical college experience. We didn't have the same experience you guys did. We weren't getting drunk 3-4 times a week. We were running.
Credit. It was like 5 times.
Well, that too, 5-6 times a week. We were up running on the track. You would have thought we were on the track team in the spring because every morning we were at the track, and then in the winter,
I think the track team thought we were on the track team.
No, the track coach was like told our strength coach, like, what are you doing? Like, how are you still have them running?
And like we were doing legit like track workouts, not soccer fitness. Like we were running 800s, 400s, like 12. It was kind of nutty, to be honest. Like looking back now, I'm like, why were we doing that?
Yeah. It was insane, but like Sara said, we were in the best shape of our life, so that was great. But yeah, playing there was awesome, but it was also awesome because we had such a good following fan-wise. Like we had so many fans at our games. We'd go to away games and they'd maybe have like a quarter or half of their stands filled, whereas you go to Dick Delesk and basically the whole stands was filled, and then they implemented that section behind the goal where like the Maniacs got to go. So it was just a fun environment to play in for sure.
I remember we played at Providence and we won, and there were dorms surrounding the field, and some kid was playing Country Roads out in his dorm room, like with the speaker facing out the window so that we could all hear it. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
That is actually awesome.
And yes, you did play my friend in 09 then. Yep. Tied him. 0-0.
Probably. We tied so many games.
We tied like every single game that year.
It's miserable.
Here's a great question because you just mentioned NIL about it before, Sara. So if you guys could pick 2 things to have an NIL deal with, you pick one big thing and then like a little local hole in the wall thing that you would be sponsored by. What would it be?
Okay, this is easy for me. My local one,
what you're gonna say.
My local one, and it's not even close, is Carmona's.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Tudors.
I thought she was gonna say Los.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely Carmona's. I ate my weight in quesadilla especials at that place, and I was obsessed with it. My bigger one, this is gonna sound so lame because I don't really like as far as like a brand or something. I'm going like a chain restaurant, like an Outback or a Chili.
No, I said that on whoever we had talking about NIL. I was like, I would get like a food place. I said I would have, if I was an athlete somehow, I would have picked like a place like Kroger, so I get like free groceries.
Oh, Kroger's, that's actually, and gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I forgot about the gas part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Bri?
I probably would have said like Qdoba. How many times did we go to Qdoba?
Oh, so much.
So many times. But yeah, I don't know. The NIL stuff is so crazy. Like I joke because I work at a university in an athletic department, and I joke about like how I really went to college at the wrong time. But then like when I really think about it,
it's like, did we?
No, I don't. Because I just feel like now like the teams aren't really teams. Everyone's kind of like competing with each other, and then you're not really staying for 4 years because if you can get a better deal somewhere else, you're leaving. So you're not like building the relationships that we got to build, as like obviously we were committed there for 4 years. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, but it would have been cool to make some money, but we did get scholarship checks if you were on a full scholarship.
That was nice. Yeah.
And that was plenty of money for a college student per month. So
it was plenty of money to go to the Morgantown Mall to shop at Forever 21,
21.
and then go to the food court for Chinese food.
Yeah.
Bri got her Annie Ann's pretzel, and I got either Chick-fil-A or my Chinese food, and we were good to go.
The Chinese food that was made by a Filipino guy was lit, so I'm with it.
It was delicious.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So you guys both brought up Coach Brown. You know, what, if you can, because I know there's always the things you don't talk about coaches and all that fun stuff. But if there's any funny stories of when she was like,
there's not enough podcasts in this world.
I love it. All right,
give us after the Izzo-isms that we've encountered.
Go with your top one each, because I feel like there's got to be some good ones in there.
Well, one of my favorite was the what is it called when you research the other team? Scouting report. For the South Florida goalkeeper. She was very athletic, but like just kind of nutty. And Izzo, they were printed out scouting reports, and she printed out one for all of us, or Marissa did, somebody did. And instead of putting erratic, she put that the goalkeeper's erotic, but didn't know, like she would do things like that, but not realize, like we'd all be like, that's funny, like, haha. She'd like, well, what's wrong?
Why are you laughing? This isn't the time to joke around.
Yeah. Or
this is the wrong word.
When she told Mac that she had too much testosterone, and she combined testosterone and estrogen.
Oh my God. She was so mad at us one game, and like of how we were playing, and she told a couple of the girls that they couldn't motivate her to fart. And we're like, what does that even mean?
No one knew what it meant, but everyone was like, that's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of Izzo stories. Probably not ones we can repeat, but she was like, she's hilarious. I think
is hilarious.
The year before we got there, but she told the team she was going to run their tits off, which is like something that she can't. And like we always taught, like when she came to a wedding with us last May, one of the girls got married, and we literally all just sat around the table and talked about all these stories that were just hilarious. And it's just funny now that like they can't say the things that they said to us back then. Like it was only 10 years ago, but the culture and everything has changed so much that like she had to kind of change style because people are too sensitive.
We had a new goalkeeper coach I think it was my sophomore year, and me and Carrie Butler, who was the starting goalkeeper, it was preseason, and we were walking down to the other end of the practice field, and Izzo screaming at Christian, do you have your ball sack? Like what she meant was like, do you have like your bag of balls? Like, you know, but she kept calling it his ball sack. But like it's funny to us, but like she said it was not a joke. Like she was genuinely like, do you have your ball sack?
Oh my God. The best part is that she's genuine about it all.
Yeah.
And
that's why it was so funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She thinks it's hysterical, like the things that we remember that she said. So when we tell her years later, she just starts dying laughing. But it's like she was just priceless sometimes. Scary sometimes.
Oh, she could be very scary.
I think I've heard her yelling, leaving like the women's basketball practice one time, and I heard her yelling from the Coliseum. And y'all, I think you were still practicing at the regular soccer field. You weren't over across the street yet. And all of a sudden you could hear it. And I'm going, yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
I'm gonna get going.
I don't want to be around here right now. I'm scared.
Yeah. I think I've only been on the receiving end of her really yelling at me once or twice, but I definitely witnessed a lot, and it got bad sometimes, but she was never really wrong. Like it was always warranted.
I definitely never got in trouble for social things, but she blamed me for every single goal that got scored was somehow my fault.
Even when you were redshirting.
Yeah, we tied Pitt our freshman year. It was 1-1. and I had a torn ACL. And we get back to, it was a Friday game, we had Saturday practice, and she has us all in a huddle and she's yelling at everyone about how we sucked and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, well, at least I'm not getting yelled at. Like I didn't do anything. And she turns to me, looks me in my eye and goes, and if I tore my ACL playing lacrosse, but she called it field lacrosse. She combined field hockey and lacrosse. And she looks at me and goes, well, if Keane wasn't off playing field lacrosse, we wouldn't have tied yesterday. I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck did that happen?
Sara's a red shirt, tore it before she even got to West Virginia, yet still getting blamed for a game we tied.
So she's sitting there going, I
don't even know what to do with this. Yeah.
No, but she honestly was the best part of West Virginia soccer for sure.
I mean, I loved being coached.
I mean, she is West Virginia soccer. She's the only head coach they've had in what are they at, 28 years now?
Something like that. Yeah,
she started the program and she's just run with it.
Yeah. She never had a losing season.
No, and they had that one bad year in 2021, but I heard like a lot of girls like couldn't play a bunch of games because of COVID, like a whole bunch of stuff. So
I think Bri Mack was still there or maybe it was 1 year after Bri Mack was there, but Bri was saying that like, yeah, it was a crappy season, but I mean, they still had a winning record.
Still a winning record, just the 1 year and like 20 plus seasons, they didn't make the NCAA tournament.
But yeah, it was very COVID related. Like there were like their starting center back was out for like 3 or 4 games, I think, because of COVID.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
gotta love it. Alrighty. So sport management. You guys are all sport management majors like we are. So we do this with every one of our sports management alum. We need to get your best Doc Jones story. Whoever wants to go first.
We already said she doesn't have one. She can't remember anything.
Like, I told them, I was like, it's so hard because it was so long ago. And I tried to remember. And like the main thing I just remember when I think of Doc is like his over enthusiasm for like everything. Like if you say something so small and he'll be like, oh my God, that is amazing. Like you're kidding me. And it's like, I just told you I had like a peanut butter sandwich for lunch. Like it's not that crazy, but he would just be like over the top enthusiastic about things. But he always made me laugh. He offered the class extra credit if they came to Sara and I's games, so we appreciate that.
I took Doc's opportunity on that one every time.
Thank you. I hope you came regardless, but
I did.
Yeah,
I brought my mom.
Would have been there regardless.
I brought my mom one time. She came down to visit. We went to a game and everything. She loved it. She was like, "This is crazy." I was like,
Doc invited my mom to class. Like he like knew that my parents were in town for the game. They're like, just bring him to class. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
I don't think that's what they want to do, but I'll ask.
No.
But no, he was the sweetest though.
Do you guys remember this? I remember because this wasn't Doc related towards me necessarily, but we had a group project in his one class where you had to come up with like a business plan.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
So my team, it was me, Tyler Dries, and Lindsay Dean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Girl, she married, and I think they're not together anymore. Somebody else
are not.
No, they ain't.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But Dries came up with the plan. It was arena baseball. Don't ask me. I don't remember any of the details of his plan, but we were in the library.
It sounds like a Dries plan because all he talked about was freaking baseball.
Yeah, he was super into it. But I was like, I don't have an idea, so that's fine. I'm cool with this. Like, I'll roll with this. Lindsay questioned everything Dries said. And it was like a pretty decent plan. Again, I had nothing to do with it. I was just like, yeah, I'll show up day of.
You were just there to support.
I was just happy to be involved. So we're at the library, which Bri and I did not go to often. And the only reason we went was because Lindsay forced us to. We were in that library for hours. She wouldn't.
I think I remember going into the library and seeing y'all downstairs or something.
It's exactly where it was. It was downstairs. And me and Tyler were like, can we just like go get anything to eat? Like, I just peanuts or something.
God.
She's like, we've got to finish this. So she held us captive in the library for what felt like 72 hours. We get to, it's our day to present. We do the whole thing. And Doc is, doing his Doc thing, questioning all the business stuff. And Dries just loses his mind and leaves class. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
I think this might have been before my time.
No, it wasn't, Kevin. This was.
Was I in this class?
You may not have actually been in this class. You might have already graduated. But I remember this one.
It was old, like we were seniors, I think.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like sophomore year. And
your boy was out of there already.
Yeah, Dries was getting so pissed that Doc was like questioning everything. So he just storms out. And me and Lindsay are just at the front of the class, like, well, anyone else have any questions? I'll try to answer them. Doc was like, do you think he's coming back? I was like, I don't think so, Doc.
Every time we did those group presentations, like say the class was from like 5 to 6:30, it'd be like 7:15, and only like 4 groups had gone, and I hadn't gone yet, or Sarah hadn't gone yet, so we'd be texting me like, we're gonna get out of here, we're not gonna have to present tonight. But Doc would just keep us there until like 8:30 so everyone could go. I'm like,
it was like Mean Girls. I will keep you here all night. Yeah. We can legally only keep them here until 5:30.
Yeah, but he broke that law and kept us way later, and then we had to present, and I was like, dang it.
Every Doc project, you knew he was trying to get every presentation done in a 2-day period, and you're going, there's 20 plus of us in this class.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't going to work in a 45
and they
minute
were like
class.
15 to 20 minute presentations too. Like it wasn't just like a short thing where it was like, okay, you go. It was like long.
Yeah, they're at least minimum, like the presentations, especially the group ones, are like 5 to 10 minutes each. And then you have to have the question segment portion.
Right.
And then he gives his question portion. And then he's sometimes, depending on whatever happened with the group, it's going to be a whole soliloquy on why this was bad or why this was wrong. Something gets torn up. Somebody leaves crying. Somebody leaves yelling. And you're just like, oh, that's what it is. That's why when I was done with my presentation, I just kind of strolled in whenever class was like still in session. I think there was one day I came in and I sat down, and then we were all ready to leave because I just need to show that I was there. It was so bad.
I just like walking in and telling him I wasn't presenting. I go, I'm not doing it. He's yes,
I'm not ready today.
No, I'm not. I don't have it.
But Doc was like, he would get kind of mad at you for that, but then he'd be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
didn't we have to dress up for those too?
Yes. Always had to be like,
you had to be in like
business
tie.
Casual.
Yeah.
God, I hated those days so much.
Yeah, so we had to hit up the Forever 21 extra hard for the blouses and
the business section.
The business section.
All the guys had to learn how to tie a tie.
Tie.
Yo, I learned to tie a tie via YouTube that year when I had to do all that.
That's how I learned, besides my dad showing me in 8th grade and forgetting after that. But
I love it.
My favorite story of Doc is me and Shadow walking into a class when we were supposed to be presenting, and it was like the small class that Doc had. Was it
Issues of Sport?
Yeah,
it's where people get into fights in that one.
Yeah. We were supposed to do presentations, and Shad and I walked in both wearing soccer jerseys, looking at each other, going, "We don't know that we're presenting today." Well, I guess this is how we're going to go. Everyone else is dressed up. Shad and I are just sitting there going, "Okay." When we had Doc on a few weeks ago, I told him, I go, "Doc, you know that paper Shadow wrote?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Yeah, he didn't write it." He goes, "Wait, what?" I go, "That was my paper from Bravo's class." He goes, "You're kidding me, Merritt, I'm like, why? He literally asked the same question that I'd already presented, so I just gave it to him.
Well, I remember a Shadow story from Gonzalo's sport history class. We each had an athlete of sorts that we had to research, and I can't remember the name of the guy that Shadow had, but we had like mine was I was about to say Kareem Hunt, but Hunt was his last name. He was a chief. He was with the Chiefs. He like coined the term Lamar Hunt.
Yeah.
And so it was like somebody you could easily Google. So Shadow has this guy, and you Google him and nothing comes up. I'm like, who? Like, and Shadow was like, Sara Bri, like, I cannot find anything on this guy. So finally, it came up that he was a cyclist, but there were no like articles about him or anything. So Shadow reached out to the guy via like Facebook or something, like in his
way.
DMs, and did this whole presentation, and it's over, and he did such a good job for like so little information. Like, he actually interviewed the guy, and it turns out that Gonzalo, it was a completely different athlete.
Yeah, it was the wrong guy.
It was the completely wrong guy. It just happened to be the same name. And the guy he interviewed, it wasn't like he was like a professional cyclist. Like, I think he did like, he maybe cycled in college and maybe did some professional cycling, like, but it wasn't like, you know, and
yeah, like I had James
like,
Smith. It wasn't like a.
Yeah, I had Vince Lombardi for that one. I remember that.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what project y'all are talking about.
Kevin, you were in that class.
I 100% was not in this class.
Yes, you
it
were.
It was in
the East Campus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it in the big, huge hall that was in like a basement?
It was in the
huge,
basement.
But it wasn't a huge hall.
It wasn't a huge hall. It was a little classroom.
Yeah, it was a little classroom where it was like step up.
And all the seats were really close together.
And you flip the desk up and put it down, and Eric Williamson always was drawing on every single desk he sat at.
Because I don't think I ever had it. I think I was in a different class because my Bravo classes were in a big, huge table where I'm in a rolly chair like this.
No, you were sitting next to me.
Yeah, we had some of those too.
In that class,
it was spring semester because it was after I tore my ACL in junior year, and I had to go up those stairs with the crutches and the brace, and it was brutal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this project. I couldn't even tell you who I ever did.
It was a pretty easy project.
It was an easy A.
It's basically 100%. Like a book report on a famous.
It was like a middle school book report. Yeah,
gotta love it.
But that's the best part about Bravo projects was it was easy.
Mm-hmm.
Doc projects were a pain in your ass until the end, and then Doc just said, "I'm done. I don't even care."
Yeah.
I
don't want to grade this.
Yeah.
You put so much work into it.
Yeah, that's true. The struggles.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say real quick, because we're kind of going the rotation of all the professors. I vividly, and this is where I always remember the two of you, is we'd come to Dr. Lee's class. And then I would always just remember Dr. Lee. She would be looking for you, and then she would, with her softball voice, "Is Sara Keane here?" And then we're like, Sarah's not here yet. She'll be here soon. And then it's like, okay, what about Bri? Is Bri here? And I'm like, Bri's
they'll be here together.
Bri, they'll be here soon, Dr. Lee. So just so you know.
I saw them still looking for parking outside.
Yeah, they're still trying to find a spot. But I always remember Dr. Lee. She pulled up with her old school flip phone. It's like she took a picture of you.
Yeah, so that was the most awkward thing ever.
I know. The time like she took like our pictures was like so early in the morning, so like everybody's like super tired. But I just needed to bring that up. Shout out to Dr. Lee out here.
He was so soft spoken.
You couldn't hear her in like the last 3 rows of the classroom. You were like, "Huh? What? I got to read something." Well, someone else will tell me. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I just remember the 7 a.m. Monday sport law class, where we had it. We took it the semester where it was in the fall, and it was the year where every single road trip we went on, we got delayed. So we didn't get back until like 3 in the morning on Monday morning. So we just didn't ever go to that class. And we're like,
we showed up for the midterm and the final, and I remember, I think it was the midterm, the professor literally said to me and Bri, like, "Are you in this class?
Do you even go here?"
Yeah, I sat there and I'm like, "Yeah, they go here." Are you sure? I'm like,
I swear I know them.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're in all my other classes.
Having a 7 a.m. class on a Monday that's illegal.
That was brutal. Horrible. Well, the worst part
is that the liability of sport class,
sport law, whatever it was.
I think I had that class at like Wednesday during like the spring semester at 7 a.m. and it's like snowing, and then like Morgantown isn't like awake yet, so like you're driving down those mountains like full of snow, trying to make it to that damn class.
Dude,
Yeah, said that it had to be at 7 because he had to get to work, and I was like,
Yup.
"No, Rear, you make your own hours."
yeah. He's like, yeah, I go to work after this. I'm going, you're an asshole. Like, you're making a college kid get up this early. And then on his final, it was still at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
God,
half of the class had business law at the exact same semester and had to rush downtown to go take the final. There was like 5 of us, and we all packed into cars, and like Howard drove us down. We were like sitting there going, this is awful. This is the worst thing in the world to have 2 law finals in the same day.
Yeah, Bri and I didn't get into the 2 law. We did anything that would help us graduate and nothing more.
My biggest accomplishment was getting out of college without taking one biology or chemistry class.
Yeah.
I was
shout
like,
out to you. Nice.
I took biology.
That is an accomplishment.
I took
Why
biology.
did you take biology?
I went
I
to
don't
University of New Hampshire first before I went to West Virginia, and I was going to get into like kinesiology or something. And they're like, oh, you need to take this. I'm going, I'm not trying to do science stuff. Okay. So they're like, take this. I got to dissect stuff. It was awesome.
I remember second semester freshman year, Bri and I took the only math class we took, but there were no numbers. It was all letters. And the final was the day after Cinco de Mayo.
I'm sure we did well.
Gosh.
That was a tough one.
I think you guys you passed, right?
You passed.
I mean, yeah. Bri was an academic All-American.
Sure was.
Crushing it.
He's like, I don't know how, but I was.
I will brag about it though.
Hey,
I will
it's
put
an
it on my
accomplishment.
resume.
Definitely got you far with that one, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, back to kind of the soccer stuff. What was the biggest accomplishment in your guys' career at West Virginia for you guys?
That's a tough one, I think, for me.
There were so many.
Yeah. Well, no, I will say what I do think was cool was that we won Big East titles and Big 12 titles.
Like tiny jerk.
Like I don't think like not many athletes can say that they won 2 major titles
from 2 different conferences.
From 2 different major conferences.
Yeah, that's
at the same school.
Yeah. So we did the switch, obviously, from the Big East to the Big 12 going into my senior year, Sarah's redshirt senior year, redshirt junior year, whatever. Yeah. She played 1 year after me. So that was cool because we just kind of came into the Big 12 and then won their conference. But I'd say the other, I mean, probably the most notable highlight was beating number 1 Stanford and snapping their 80 game win streak.
Yeah, it was something absurd. It was like 65 games or something like that. I almost felt bad for them that they lost to us.
I didn't.
Well, I didn't really feel bad for them, but it was like one of those things where we had never lost 2 games in a row, something like that. And we that weekend we played Central Michigan on Friday and Stanford on Sunday. So at least I
went at Penn State.
It was at Penn State. So at least I went into the weekend saying, okay, we're going to split this weekend. We'll absolutely destroy Central Michigan and probably not beat Stanford. And then we lost to Central.
We played terrible against Central Michigan.
So bad. We played so bad. And I remember after that game talking to, I think it was Bri Mack, like, oh, shit. Like, this is gonna suck. Now, all Izzo's gonna talk about is how we lost 2 games in a row. And we went into that Stanford game with an actual game plan, and it worked to a T. I think they had 1 shot on goal the entire game, which was good because I was so nervous.
That's awesome. That is. I'll take beating
that
so
was
much.
probably. But yeah, the 2 conferences was nice. I mean, I think we won 5 or 6 conference championships, whether it be regular season or tournament championships in our 4 years. So
it was cool winning the Big East at home.
Oh yeah, my junior year.
That would have been my senior year. I remember that. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Dang, that's cool. All right,
Yes.
Kevin, your turn.
My turn. Cool. All right. So now we have some specific questions for you guys.
Oh, we're gonna have a little
Sara.
toddler running around here too soon. This is
Oh,
gonna be
yay.
hysterical.
Love it. All right. So first one for you, Sara. What was it like playing for FC Kansas City?
So it's funny that you asked this, because you guys were talking earlier about how, like, you know, QBs, they only got a raise of $2 million, you know, instead of 8, they're only making 10 now or whatever. Can you guys take a guess at what my contract was worth?
Yes, we can, because our friend played in for the Boston Breakers, and it was like,
Yeah, you're still gonna be wrong. Guess.
I'm gonna go with $15,000.
That's cute, Merritt. Okay, Kevin, what would you say?
Oh my God! Since you laughed at $15,000.
Okay, but what would you have said if I didn't laugh at that?
If you didn't laugh, I probably would have said, because comparing from what we heard from Merritt's friend, I'm thinking you probably got between 25 and 8.
25 and 8.
2,500 and like maybe 8.
I made $4,900. The league
Oh shit, I
minimum
was close.
the league minimum was 5,000, and I got 100 less than that.
Oh my God.
And then I had to pay tax. You know, you have to pay tax in every state you play in.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We practiced in Missouri but played in Kansas. So I had to pay for both of those states. I owed the state of Oregon like $78. Like, this is a disaster.
Oh my
That said, though, my experience was awesome. We had really awesome national team players on our team, like nice people. Like Lauren Holiday, Drew's Holiday's wife, Becky Sauerbrunn and Amy Rodriguez were our 3 like big time national team players, and they were all awesome. We won that year too, which was cool. I mean, I only played in 2 games and I got 3 goals scored against me, but one was an own goal, so that obviously doesn't count. And the other 2 were scored by Olympians. So also, does that really count?
I mean, I would say no. You know,
Yeah.
those don't count. You're
You're
good.
good.
You're
Yeah.
good.
I
But
got
no,
to go to your game in Chicago.
Yeah, they went to my game in Chicago. I got to, actually, it's funny because Frances Silva, who married Nick Arthur,
Yep.
I played with her in Kansas City, and her and I were definitely not the closest in college, but we became very close afterwards, which was nice, like, just to like make that connection. But the experience was actually really, really good. Our coach was awesome. He's the national team coach now, so like that's kind of cool. It's definitely way different now. Like, it's way more professional now than it was when I played. But I would definitely say, all in all, besides like using food stamps to eat, it was actually a really good experience.
Yeah, we definitely made more in our scholarship checks than you did in.
Literally, my scholarship checks were worth more than my.
Oh, like quadruple.
Oh, I probably definitely triple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I don't even know what to say to that. That's like,
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was your friend that played for Boston?
Jess Lazinski.
Where she went? She's the one that went to BU.
Yeah, she went and played for the Boston Breakers for, I think it was like a year, but she had old injuries from college that basically stopped her career. So
Yeah, I definitely wish I'd have played like one more year, but that was not going to be a long-term thing for me. Like, I mean, you can't live off of
No, you can't.
that's like a side hustle job. You're like, yeah, this is just what I do on the weekends.
Yeah, like, so I had to do like coaching, which I don't love coaching, like just to like make extra money. So that kind of stunk. But other than that, I honestly, it sounds like I'm complaining. I really can't complain that much.
Yeah, you weren't ready for the real world yet anyway.
No. Exactly. I mean, it was like kind of just like a nice, like,
She hadn't realized how to get textbooks at that
no,
point.
how was I
So
supposed to know how to
Exactly.
do
You're
that?
still learning.
Yeah.
she walked out in the real world. It's like, all right, I'm ready to go. And door hit her real quick.
Oh gosh.
Oh, good times.
All right, so I'll go with the next one. So Bree, you're what it's from what I did some digging and found LinkedIn and went that way with everything.
Is my profile updated? I haven't been on that in a bit.
I have no idea. I'm just gonna say what I got here and we'll go from there. So it says you work at the University of Pacific within the athletic department, right? For like a manager of athletic department. So what's that job entail and how did you get to that?
Yeah, so I'm the manager of athletic development at University of the Pacific. So it's a school in the West Coast Conference. It's a small private school, but we're in a conference with, used to be BYU, but now obviously they're in the Big 12, Gonzaga and St. Mary's. So my role is basically if I worked for the MAC at West Virginia, so the Mountaineer Athletic Club, I work for the Pacific Athletic Foundation. So the fundraising portion of the athletics department, I'm the event coordinator. So I put on all the fundraising events and alumni and donor events for the athletic department and we are technically, well, never mind. So yeah, I put on all the fundraising events for the athletic department. My biggest one is in October. It's like 600 people. It's a huge fundraiser for all the teams. There's a silent auction, a live auction, dancing, food, all that. So that's my biggest stress of the year. And I've conveniently have planned 2 babies to be born right at that time. So that's been quite stressful.
Smart move.
Well, not really smart because like I'm like breaking up my maternity leave this time so I can literally go back and help them finish like the planning and be at the event. So it's adding stress to the pregnancy. But no, it's super rewarding because when I went to West Virginia, our facilities were absolutely insane. Like we were very, very spoiled, but as a 18, 19-year-old, you don't really realize it. And then I go to a school like Pacific, who are these student athletes who are working just as hard as we did. And then I see like what they have to work with in terms of the facilities and the resources and stuff that they have. They just don't have, they don't have football. They're a small private school of 4,000 people. It's more academic based than athletics at the school. So to see like what they have to work with, it just kind of makes me even more motivated to like help raise money for them so that they can kind of have a better experience. They're never going to have the facilities and the stuff that I had, not for probably another 5-10 years or so. But if we can raise money to help them get anything that makes their experience better, then that's basically the rewarding part of the job. And I love like working with donors who are just, they're obviously great people. They're giving their money away by their own free will. So they're just good people to build relationships with. And I've been there for 8 years now. Wow. So yeah.
Bree's doing the Lord's work.
That's what they call it. I'm giving them food and alcohol and then hoping that they in return have so much fun that they give us more
They
money.
give you a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've been asked, I've been asked if I want to like take the next step and be like a development officer. So I'd be the one to like go out and ask for the gifts and ask for money, but I just don't like doing that. I'd rather like plan the parties for them.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like way more fun too.
Yeah, it's fun. I go to the West Coast Conference men's and women's basketball tournament every year in Las Vegas. It's always on my birthday. So that's a good time.
Perfect way to celebrate a birthday in Vegas at a basketball tournament.
Yep. And for free because work pays for it.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good time. It has its perks.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, here's a random fact that I literally typed in University of Pacific, but Hugh Jackson went there.
Yeah, they used to have football, so there's a lot of big time football people that went there. Merritt, the connection for you, since you're a Celtics fan, is Damon Stoudemire was our head coach for 5 years.
And then Michael
Olowokandi
went there.
The biggest flop in the NBA draft. First.
I don't think he's biggest.
Swami
He might be
Brown is
top
probably
five.
the biggest
Top
flop
five.
ever in the NBA.
For a number one, he was drafted one. I think a lot of people say he's the biggest. And like no one can find him. No one knows where he lives. Like
Who
we're
is
trying to
this?
induct him into our Hall of Fame and nobody can find him.
Michael Olowokandi. Out of
Olowokandi.
University Pacific, played for the Clippers for the majority of his career. Known for getting dunked on by Amari Stoudemire.
Really bad.
Really bad. Oh, look at this guy out here.
Hi,
Michael.
Yeah, so as you can see, my husband has to leave, so I'm on mom duty right now. So I apologize for
No, perfectly fine. What's up, man?
anything moving
Like your
forward.
hair.
You say hi?
He's like, no,
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
good.
Mom.
Thanks.
I don't want to talk to these people. I don't know them. Oh yeah, he really had a horrible career, didn't he?
Merritt's Googling.
I'm like
Yeah.
diving into this dude. He played for the
Yeah, he
Celtics
did.
for 2 years, and yeah, not so good.
Oh, what is this? Oh, what is this? That's a mouse.
I love it.
Water mouse. Yeah, so I'll just mute myself when it's not on me.
Oh, you're good. Don't
You're
worry.
perfectly fine. So shall I go next, Merritt?
No, you can skip your turn.
All right, so go ahead, Merritt.
I'm joking.
Oh, all right. Well, hold on, Sarah. So I also did the digging like Merritt, and I saw on your LinkedIn that you work for a nonprofit called Athletes for Hope. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah. So I've been there for about a year now. Before Athletes for Hope, I was with a different nonprofit actually doing exactly what Bri Rod does now. But for a human services organization. So streaming from college, we still were doing the exact same thing up until about a year ago. But Athletes for Hope is the largest philanthropic sports organization in the country. It was founded by like big time athletes like Muhammad Ali, Mia Hamm, Warwick Dunn, Jackie Joyner Kersey, like big names. And the point initially was, educating them on how to give back. It's like, you get all this money, you become a professional athlete. Now what type of thing? So that was the initial thought. Like, instead of starting your own foundation, which like is legally a nightmare to do, we connect athletes with organizations that already exist. So since it was founded in 2007, and then I work specifically with college athletes. So I work with, it's AFHU, it's our university program. We're at like 15 or 16 schools. Our biggest markets are DC, we're at Howard, Georgetown and Bowie State, Atlanta, we're at Emory, Morehouse, and Clark Atlanta University. And then Baton Rouge, we're at LSU, Southern, and Tulane. With some other schools sprinkled in there, like we're at Davidson's, our newest school. Steph Curry is part of our like athlete advisory committee. So we got on their campus obviously because of him. So we go to different campuses and basically educate student athletes on how to give back, where to find opportunities, how to get involved with the community, whether it's at home or on their college campus. And then we have an AFH Fit program. So it educates schools on physical fitness. It's typically in schools that are underfunded. And we have a Hospital Heroes program, which sends athletes to typically children's hospitals. But we've been to, veterans hospitals and that kind of stuff. And our newest program is our Whole Being Athlete, and that's our mental health organization. So it's educating athletes and coaches and just really anyone on the signs of, if a friend or a teammate is going through a mental health crisis, like signs to spot it, how to help it. Obviously, college athletes committing suicide has skyrocketed since we left school, unfortunately. So we have a big emphasis on mental health within our organization. So please follow us on social media.
Yes,
That's
I got you.
unreal. That's awesome, Sarah.
I'm crushing it. Oh, hold on, I gotta find it.
Can you type, Kevin? Are you able to do that?
Does he know he muted himself?
No, he has no idea. He has no idea he did that.
Bri is a baby.
Yeah, he's got a toddler in there too.
Yeah.
If Kevin has a toddler in his house right now, I'm going to be concerned. 100% would be concerned.
No, I don't have a toddler in my house.
That's good.
But I followed.
Just
I
followed you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Kevin,
What am
as
I-
you were trying to figure out what to say and muted yourself, I found it too and was still talking. It was crazy.
You know what, man?
Well, his phone is all in Philippines, so
Yeah.
it's a little difficult for him.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know what these words are. What is this letter? What's this do?
You guys,
Just kidding,
you're
Kevin.
killing me out here.
Hey, you brought it on yourself
You're right.
with the Filipino time zones and all that. Like, it's really,
I know.
it's on you.
I know.
All right. So I've got another one for you guys. You know, the season's coming up. They're in the middle of training camp. I'm assuming at this point, season starts in a month or so. How much you guys pay attention to the program since you left, and what are your thoughts on the upcoming season?
I mean, I would say we pay attention pretty closely.
Yeah, but I would say like the first 3 to 4 years after we left, I honestly think Sara and I watched like every game online. And like we were very dialed in. It was actually awesome because I moved out to California in January of 2016. And that was the year that West Virginia made the Final Four, which was in San Jose, which was an hour and a half away from where I live. So a bunch of the girls came back and stayed with me, and we made a weekend and we got to go watch them at the Final Four.
Yeah, that was sick.
That was a very fun weekend. I will say I fell off a little bit like during COVID and not as familiar with the team. But I obviously look at their schedule every year and I try and figure out if there is a game I can go to. I always bug Izzo and Stoya and give them crap for not scheduling games out in California so I can go to them a little easier. But no, we stay. I mean, we follow them on all the social media. We talk to the coaches. I talked to Stoya today. So they're ready for training camp preseason to start in a couple days, and they're excited about the season. So hoping for another good one. Right?
That's awesome. They start with Duke this year.
Yeah.
In Durham.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
oh my
great.
God, I had the best time my GA year when we
Oh
played.
my God.
I went out
Guys,
with their parents and my parents.
So
And
I was still playing. Like it was my super senior year, and Bri was our GA. And we get on the bus to go to the game on Sunday. We were playing UNC, and Izzo goes, Sara or Keane, where's Bri Rod? I said, I don't know. Well, my dad had texted me like 5 minutes later and was like, oh, I just saw Bri Rod in the lobby and she looks rough.
I literally threw up in the sink of my hotel room bathroom when I got back, and Fed was in there and she was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, and part of my GA responsibilities was to warm up Sara before the games, and I was like, Sara, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
we just had like another like a random player warm me up. I'm like, okay, thanks, Bri.
Yeah, it was fun. Love. We had the best parents.
We did.
Oh
you know
my
what?
God.
We had a great group of parents. I remember my super senior year when we went to the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. You know, we had the team bus, like the coach bus. And I was roommates with Kelsey, who was a couple years younger than us. And I got a call at like midnight. And I woke up and it was Haley Conroy's mom calling me, asking me to take the team bus to go pick them all up from the bar. I said, Miss Conroy, I have to be up at like 8 tomorrow, and I can't just take a coach bus to pick you guys up from the bar. She's like, well, can you wake up the bus driver? I'm like, just get an Uber.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh man, that's great. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I think soccer parents win that one for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yep,
man.
I was with the parents that night too. That was the night I called my parents and I'm like, guys, they're in the championship tomorrow. Fly down and come to the game and come out with us. And then my parents showed up the next day, surprised
sure
me at
did.
the bar.
That's the best part, when your parents surprise you at the bar and you don't get in trouble for being at the bar.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you want another drink? You're buying, right? All right, cool.
Well, that was
Whole night's
that
free.
was the nice part, is the parents always paid for everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Kevin, you got anything else? You got any other questions you want to ask before we move on to the last little bit?
The last little bit. I don't think I have anything. We pretty much hit everything. It's been fun so far. Go ahead, Merritt.
Good thing
You
I
rock it
write
out.
questions down or we'd be screwed.
Yeah, I know. Merritt's head honcho out here. I'm just here.
I just
Kevin-
can't wait for Merritt's outro.
Kevin's
Oh
just
God, no,
freeballing it every
no,
time.
no. Kevin's doing the
I
outro
cannot
still.
wait for Merritt's outro.
Oh,
I'm so
God.
excited.
You know,
I don't think you've ever done it.
no.
Ever.
Why would I?
Oh man, this
I
is gonna
never
be
do
great. I'm so excited.
I'm not
Go ahead,
doing it.
Merritt.
I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna hang up on everybody and be like, bye.
No.
That'll be the
Oh my
outro.
gosh, that would be horrible.
Be a great way to end it. It's a cliffhanger.
Oh my.
What's next?
My God.
All right. So we mentioned it literally in like 5 hours, 6 hours. The FIFA World Cup will kick off at 3 a.m. our time. I know Bri already mentioned it. She has no idea that the World Cup was happening until we said something. So this will be great. But who do you guys think will win it all? And do you think there's a team out there that might surprise people that they do so well? Or not so well?
I mean, with the little information I have to base this off of, I got to imagine that America is the front runner, right?
They are.
So
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if we didn't win. As much as I'm very patriotic, I always find myself rooting for Canada a bit
Me too.
because of Keisha
Keisha and
and Ashley.
Yeah.
Kadisha and Ashley are on the team and they played at West Virginia and they were freshmen when Sara was a super senior and I was a GA. So I like to see them do well. And I don't think they've ever won a World Cup, right?
No, they just won Olympic gold. That summer.
Son just said he farted, sorry.
Oh,
Nice. Good for you.
leave that in. Don't
Oh,
edit
that's
it.
in there. Nothing ever gets cut out.
Nothing ever gets taken out.
Yeah, I'm with Bri. I do think the US probably should win. I also find myself rooting for Canada. I don't really know much about any other team except England, who I think are pretty good and who I also find myself rooting for.
I heard all I saw about England is one of their top players is no longer playing because she got hurt.
Yes.
And that happened to like 3 United States players. Like,
Yes.
oh, cool.
That is correct. That's
Wait,
it.
3 of United States players got hurt?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was Becky Sauerbrunn, Mal Pugh, tore ACL, and there was somebody else Sam Mewis, I think.
Yeah, it's like the most recent
Mel
one.
Pugh got hurt a while ago though, right? Because isn't her husband on the
MLB.
Cubs?
Yeah.
Oh
You just letting them
but
rip
she
over
was
there.
like she would have made the
he
roster.
just stood up too far and then sat back down.
Good job, kid. You know that how to do it
Look,
already.
the smile on his face too. He's so proud of himself.
He's like, I just farted in my mom's face. This is great.
Oh gosh.
This is what I get to look forward to. Oh, God,
Yeah,
help
you're
me.
expecting in December, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
wait.
Boy or girl?
Boy,
Do you have a
Enjoy.
name picked out?
They're monsters.
we do. But we're gonna keep that on the DL. Yeah,
That's fair.
that stays on the DL right now. That'll be announced there sometime in the future. I have no idea. My wife tells me when I can do things.
Yeah, that's fair.
I get
Yeah,
told.
listen to her.
Do I have to?
I think you do.
Yes, you
Especially
have
for these
to.
9 months, you for sure do.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously. Kevin, if you ever get to that point in your life, Oh my God. Have like so much food on hand. Have like endless amounts of like massage oil to like literally massage their feet because literally that's all I do.
I just need that. I need the first step. You got to find one. So at some point, whenever that happens,
Kevin, that's what I'm working on, finding one to
yeah,
finding a husband.
that's it's
So.
it's a constant struggle. I swear, I don't think people realize how hard it is. Like now that we're older, trying to do that
It
thing.
is rough out there.
It is like
I don't know.
I just say like, and we're going on a tangent, but like, you use the apps and then like literally you get a response, and then you find out that like they want money for a response, and you're just like, and then their profile's deleted, and you're like, what just happened? I thought I was talking to a real person. Apparently not.
It's like I've been hoodwinked.
Yeah.
How many times have you been catfished, Kevin?
Like plenty. I will tell a story off air, but like that can't be on air. I'll tell the story when we're off air.
Oh my God.
Yes. Mary can't even.
That's crazy. I was talking to my coworker who is in her early 40s, and she was just saying how it's brutal out there because you can be talking to a guy and they're 100% married, but they just don't want to mention it. And you're like, oh, okay.
It's fascinating. It's truly fascinating. Crazy. Like, and some of the prompts on there, like, no offense at men. I mean, the prompt is there so that you can answer a question correctly. Like, one of the prompts will be like, today, a prompt was, what's your biggest pet peeve? And the guy's response was rise and grind.
Oh
what does that mean?
I don't know.
What part is your peeve, the rising or the grinding?
Probably the rising.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of the grinding. I don't know. Depends on your day, right? This is where Bri and I sit here and say, yeah, nope. Thank God we don't have to deal with that.
I know. It's a tough world out there.
Seriously.
It's gotten much worse. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what we're here for. Kevin, since Andrew's not here, any notes? Did we miss anything?
No, we did good. We did good today. We didn't really miss anything.
We haven't screwed up yet.
Wait, what about the trivia game that I'm surely gonna win?
Okay, we're getting to that. We're on it now.
Oh, sorry. Jumped ahead there.
Oh, she's so excited. She's like, I'm gonna get this right.
She's been Googling like me.
Yeah.
All right. So since it's all soccer, basically this episode, that's what we're aiming at here. How many West Virginia women's soccer players are playing in the upcoming FIFA Women's World Cup? And if you can give me their names and the teams.
Okay, well, Keisha and Ashley are with Canada.
Okay.
What are you looking at? Are you cheating?
Is Michaela Bam playing for Cameroon?
I didn't see that name, no.
Okay. I don't even know if Cameroon's in it. I know there's one more, and it's someone kind of random and younger than us.
What about the one girl that was on Spain? There's a girl in Spain, Vanessa.
Oh yeah, no, she's not. I
only know Keisha and Ashley. I would have said 2.
There's 3 total, isn't there? There's more than 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sarah, I'm playing in it. You didn't know.
Yeah, you guys are just late. That's all. You just gotta get on the plane right now.
Okay.
They're letting me have the baby first, and then I'm going.
You better rush because it's going to be over by the time you get there.
Well, Merritt, can we give them a hint on one of them?
Yeah.
All right. So one of them, she hasn't officially played at West Virginia yet, but she is going in.
Oh.
So that is one. So I don't know if you know.
I would have not a clue.
I probably saw on social media and then didn't really put it together.
Who is it? Who does she play for?
So am I allowed to? Okay, Merritt. So the other 2 are, so the first one is Amandine Pierre-Louis, who is playing for Team Haiti.
She is?
How do you not know that Z is playing? Sarah and Z are like besties.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's what I literally saw it in an article. I was like, wow.
That can't be right. I was just talking to Z the other day and she was in Canada. Now I have to know.
Merritt.
I'm
Oh wait,
double-checking.
we're double check that because Sarah's going right to the source.
Well, yes, Z lived at her mom's house.
Yeah, she literally lived with my family when she
Oh
was
my
playing
gosh.
in WSL. And who's the other one?
So the other one, I know this because I told Merritt about it. She is going to be a freshman this year. She is from Morgantown, West Virginia. She is also Filipino, and she's playing for the Philippines national team. Her name is Isabella Flanagan, who is going to
Sounds incredibly Filipino.
I know. Well,
Flanagan is one of the most Filipino names.
Oh yeah,
say,
when
isn't
you
that
look at her,
Irish?
she's white. She's 100% white. You would
You gotta
not know.
wipe. You gotta
You
wipe
would not know she's Filipino because she's from Morgantown, but apparently she is playing for WV next year, freshman year, and then she's playing for the Philippines national team, which was super exciting for me because you don't get a lot of Filipinos in West Virginia, so I got to support who I can.
I get that.
Yes.
Now I am completely flummoxed by
And that's what one of the articles I saw. So like,
I'll keep you updated if that's true.
It could be completely wrong, and we could only have 3. And if we only have 3, whatever. That article from I don't even know where I found it. Smoking Musket or somewhere else, like one of the WVU guys.
All I know is that on last Thursday at 12:09 p.m., Z was in Canada. Because I said, "Where are you now?" And she said, "In Canada."
In Canada.
It feels like she would not still be in Canada.
Yeah.
Or unless she's like me and Bri and she's just late.
Definitely could happen, you know. Let's see.
Merritt
That's
is still
interesting.
searching.
I love Z. So fun story about Z. She came in with Keisha and Ashley the same year, but she's French Canadian, so she didn't speak English like at all. So she redshirted. She redshirted her freshman year, and that was my GA year. And so I got to hang out with her a lot. And she was just like learning English, but she was the nicest, sweetest, funniest person ever. Yeah, I loved her.
Well, no matter what, Haiti opens up against England.
Oh, it's a tough one.
That sucks.
Tough night at the office.
That's a tough day right there, no matter what happens. Well, that's Kevin. That's it. That's all we got, right? I don't even know.
That's all we got. That's our podcast. You know, hopefully you guys enjoyed our podcast, enjoyed shooting the shit. That's just what we do. Hopefully we can become famous at it, and you'll see us on a larger platform at some point. But
if anything, this episode is going to be the one that makes you famous. Sure.
I think it could. I think it could. We're out here.
We got it.
So outro time. Since Merritt's not going to do the outro, I will do the outro. Yes. So first things first, just want to thank you two ladies for joining us, taking the time out of your busy day to hang out and talk, the good old West Virginia days. We fully love supporting our sport management alum. So this is like the part where I throw out to you if you want to share any social medias for people to follow you at, you can plug them now. Or none if you don't have it.
If you want some quality mom and baby content, you can follow BriRod4 on Instagram. I only post of my son and future daughter.
I only post of my friends' babies.
Yeah, if you follow Sarah on social media, you'd think she has 3 kids.
I know. I saw the picture the other day she posted. She's like, this is going to be a continued picture every year. I'm going,
yeah, kids love me.
What?
And where can we find you at, Sarah?
I am Sara Keane 23.
Love it. So make sure if you want that lovely family wholesome content, you follow them there. If you want to go ahead and watch this lovely episode, you can find us at our YouTube at the Manly Musings Podcast. Feel free to give us some likes, give us some comments. We only get one person that gives us comments and dislikes.
Cyrus, do not comment on this video.
Yeah, so please, but we need more people to comment on our videos. That'd get the algorithm up. That'd be amazing. If you don't want to hear us or you don't want to see us, You can listen to us on all streaming platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Play. We are on Amazon Play. Yep, Amazon Play. And you can follow us on our Instagrams. You can follow Merritt at his Instagram at Merritt_P. Follow me at KQuava624. You can follow the podcast Instagram at the Mailing Musings Pod. And that's what we've got. We will see y'all next week. Peace, y'all.